Hello, my name is Manuela Rumsey, and I'm a licensed American real estate agent in Vicenza, Italy. As part of my series, Buying a House in Italy 101, I interviewed Stefano Monti. Stefano is a highly regarded and well-known architect based here in Vicenza. Stefano's clients include opera stars, international business executives, and everyday people who want a beautiful place to live. His projects range from commercial properties to private institutional facilities to very, very lovely homes. And lately, his specialty has also included wooden homes. I'm sure that you'll find what Stefano has to tell us is very interesting and helpful.
In my life, I've done various things. I've done a few projects for international clients in the Berici Hills. They're actually quite beautiful. They provide quite beautiful landscapes, things. But yeah, I would say that 80%, at least 80% of my job is residential.
And when you say refurbishment, another way of
Yeah.
saying a renovation, so if somebody wants
Renovation.
to update maybe a property that was built decades ago and hasn't been updated, maybe change out, move things around. Somebody comes in and says, I like this, but I want to transform it into that. Is
Yeah.
that the kind of thing that you do?
Yes, well, yes, of course. I have to say the word refurbishment has also probably changed over the years. In fact, actually, in Italian, it's called ristrutturazione, which means changing, upgrading from a point of view of living standard, in terms also can comprise various levels. It can actually comprise simply changing the bathroom, but also can comprise improving the safety of the building, which now actually in Italy is very important. I have to say that in the last, say, 20 years, in Italy we have become more and more sensitive about the safety of the buildings, especially following the seismic events.
So
That,
earthquakes, these kinds
yeah.
of concerns, natural catastrophes.
Natural catastrophes, yes. And another issue that regarding, as I said, the upgrading of the quality of the standard of the building itself is to do with the energy efficiency. The key factor is providing good insulation on the buildings. Yeah.
Okay.
So I would say in energy insulation and the safety of the building has become important. I think it's possible to do the two things together, make a beautiful building and also efficiently.
Form and function.
Yeah,
can-
yeah.
can
I
come
think,
to-
yeah, I think it's possible to do it, but unfortunately, this brings also another big issue, which is the cost control. Quite often, I'm involved on a very early stage of the project. And when I say early stage, is actually before purchasing the building,
Before even buying.
before even buy the
Is
building.
that something that you recommend to people, that they
Yeah.
consult an architect before they financially?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. It's very important to buy a building, analyzing quite thoroughly all the problems that could be connected with the building. It's important to clarify the boundary and many issues when you buy a building. And also eventually check out also the whether the building it was legally built, and whether there are problems with planning authorities or with the cadastre.
And
So
catastro being the land registry.
the land register,
So
yes.
if I'm
So
following,
yeah,
it's important to do a lot of due diligence before you commit
Yeah.
to buying a property to make
Yeah.
sure that it has the proper permits.
Yeah.
And that the ownership, there are no what we call clouds on title. So
Yeah.
somebody can buy it free and clear knowing that
yeah,
it's not going to
Yeah.
turn into a lawsuit later on that they
exactly.
have.
Or waste of time.
Or yeah, so that they don't
Yeah.
waste their time and money.
Because sometimes things can be adjustable or mendable from a bureaucratic point of view, but might cost time and money. No, in Italy we have notary lawyer, notary, and we have a land registration. The land registration cadastre. Yeah, the cadastre is actually a detailed map of or that shows the boundary of the properties, both in the agricultural land and.
So it's kind of like a big archive or
It's a big archive,
inventory of
Yeah.
all the properties.
Of all the properties,
And then all of the
yes.
transactions, all the sales and inheritance, how
Yeah.
that property is passed down.
Yeah. Yes.
So could you tell us a little bit more about purchase, design, and build? How you work with property owners and clients
Yeah.
who would like perhaps a one-stop shop solution in that they want someone to oversee everything because maybe they're abroad or maybe not being well versed in construction and architecture and all the
Yeah.
Italian laws concerning those things, and also of course with the local building authorities. Having someone who can manage that for them, I'm sure is a
Yeah.
big help. Could you kind of talk about how you help clients in that way?
I start with a pencil and a white piece of paper, and we start sketching what the idea of the building could be, whether it's one unit, whether there are more units. We start thinking how to work out the kitchen, the toilets,
You mean bathrooms?
the bathrooms, yeah. That actually is an initial phase before even going to planning. A little treasure.
So when you
So-
have these kinds of additional, let's say, set of restrictions,
Yeah.
you have the historical preservation.
Historical preservation.
How
Yeah.
long does just that part of the process take? If you have to go through that step because it's an
It co-
historical
yeah.
property, what can that look like in terms of the amount of time it might take to get the approval before you can actually begin any work?
Well, I would say 6 months. I would say for granting building approval, I would allow definitely 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
And before presenting, submitting planning request, I would say that you also have to allow at least 1 or 2 months for preparing the drawings and analyzing the drawing together with the clients. Well, it's inevitable to make variation during design construction process.
So it's
But I think it's better to start well without making major revision on
so
site.
having a clear idea
Having a
at the
clear
beginning,
idea,
kind of
yes.
having thought it already
Yeah.
through. What is the most important advice that you give your clients before beginning any project? Something that you want them to know from the outset above all else.
The major thing I would say is the financial issue. I would say that the main thing is actually to be prepared on and make a good estimate and try not to underestimate the project and be happy with the cost of construction. I would also say that not to think about the building as an financial investment.
And why would you?
Because the building is something that can give you many more than a return of the investment.
So
Family,
consider
and
it for
spend really
the,
beautiful time in there.
so
And
not just as something that maybe you turn around and sell later, but
Yeah.
the enjoyment that you can get
Yeah.
from living in it or from using it.
yeah, the, it's basically, you don't have to look at it as a financial investment, basically.
Are there things that people can do before they make a financial commitment to get an understanding?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. And as I said, it's possible to say to cut costs, but if, for example, but it's kind of easy. It's not easy anyway. I mean, it's not easy to undertake a fully refurbishment project, spending very little. But we got to understand what it means, very little.
Exactly.
Well, I think actually it's important to start from the beginning, measuring the building, analyzing what jobs what intervention are required, whether there are critical issues, for example, water coming in the building, coming from underneath. It's possible. If you're in a remote area, sometimes you got kind of a spring coming in. That can be a big job to avoid that. If you are in a hillside, understand whether there is earthwork to be done, whether there are retaining walls to be put in place, because that kind of thing can be analyzed immediately, of course. But if you don't think about it, you can be in trouble later. You know what I
So
mean?
it sounds like it's really important to get somebody involved,
Yeah.
like you were saying earlier,
Yeah.
very at the beginning of the process,
Yeah.
so that you can even decide, is this something that is
Yeah.
feasible financially?
Yeah, 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 exactly. You got to not underestimate the works that have to be done, and see whether, as I said, whether there are critical issues. You have to think about the project is something that you enjoy for long period of time.
So look at it as a long-term investment and
Yeah.
a long-term commitment, not
Yeah.
something that
Yeah.
it's not flipping properties.
Maybe there are places in Italy where you can make an investment and a quick return. I'm not saying there aren't. But again, the initial cost in those areas might be higher than in other area because there is a lot of demand, etc., etc. So maybe the return is not that great in that respect in the
So
end of the day.
it-
So there are different issues to be considered. Yes.
And it sounds like you have to be prepared kind of psychologically and
Yeah.
emotionally to go on a long journey, because
Yes.
there's no crystal ball to know exactly perhaps how long something will take, and you mentioned that there inevitably will be surprises along the way.
Yeah, can be minimized and try to, and yeah, with a bit of experience, you can actually understand them straight away. It's also important to be honest. Obviously, it's important that the consultant you get is it's clear with you on the from the beginning on what means in terms of cost and type of works that need to be undertaken.
Having um, a clear concept of what expectations are, conveying that and making sure that you're on the same page.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that
exactly. And even if you find a nice property for 10,000 euros, etc., then you got to consider that, well, you can live there maybe immediately, like our grandparents used to live,
In a very rustic kind
in a
of
very
way.
kind of way.
Are we talking about outhouses and no running water
Exactly,
or no
no,
hot water?
not running
Is
water.
that even possible?
Using candles, etc. But then maybe you realize later you want to have a bath, you want to have internet, and you are tired of cutting timber every day. So it's a bit of a
Something
problem.
that might seem like a bargain later
Later
on,
on,
you might
yes.
get what you pay for. So you
Yeah.
have to really be honest, it sounds
Yeah.
like, with yourself
Yeah.
in terms of what you'd like.
Yeah.
What can people do to make sure that they give somebody the full picture or the best information that they can about what their needs are financially as well as architecturally?
It's all to do with the design process, right? So, from a point of view of the design, you can actually have a statistical experience of what got to be done for a building or not. And also from experience, you might actually guess how much it could cost and all that. And then you start measuring how many floor meter, how many square meter of walls you have, how many windows to be replaced, and then you start doing more and more detailed bill of quantity. Of course, the more is the bill of quantity is detailed, the more close to the real cost of construction you get. So to do that, of course, you need to invest some time and money at the beginning. So I would say the more you invest, the more you are aware of the final bill you have to pay. So this is the process. Also, the process involved eventually to project manage the construction. Project managing is another issue.
Is that part of the purchase, design, and build that you
Yeah.
were talking about
Yeah.
earlier?
Yeah, you got to put together a different, a various type of specialized worker to do different things.
Having the right
In a, yeah.
workers,
Yeah, and the right
tradesmen,
workers. Yeah,
to
tradesmen.
perform
Yeah.
the work necessary is
Yeah.
also really important.
It's very important, yes. And you got to start building a team.
A team.
Building a team is a key issue on a good, successful project. Clients have to be aware of the fact that it's not a short run, it's more a little marathon.
A little marathon. So they have to be able to, even if they can't see the end
Yeah,
of the marathon,
yeah,
they have to be prepared to
yeah.
commit
To commit,
it.
yes.
Because once you begin, you
Yeah.
need to see it through, it
Yeah.
sounds like.
Yeah.
And would that be your advice to people at the outset, at the beginning? Look, this is going to be a marathon, so
Yeah, it's better to advise people that it is a marathon. It's not a 10K or whatever. So, yeah, that's another issue. Whoever you choose for doing design work have to be someone you are happy to speak very often on the phone or on WhatsApp if you are away.
so having
And,
a good rapport with someone
yeah,
is important, so you can
exactly.
have those conversations.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe go out for a glass of wine or a beer before you.
Yeah,
Yes.
of course. Oh, definitely, definitely. It's you got to take it a bit like that. It could be more than rather than a holiday itself. It could be a cultural adventure.
Ah,
Building.
that's an interesting
Yeah.
way to put it.
Yeah.
To get to know more about the place and the customs and
Yeah.
the perspectives of the place, of the location where they'll actually be living, where the property is.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Good.
Yeah, I
Well,
would say that.
that sounds like a good note to end on.
Okay,
and I
then.
take-
Okay, bye. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That concludes my interview with Stefano. If you're interested in contacting him directly, you can do that through his website. I've put the link to that below. Thanks so much for watching. If you're interested in buying property in Italy and would like representation, please contact me through my website, www.italyhomebuyer.com. And until the next time from Vicenza, Italy, arrivederci.